Hello, today my guest is Donna. She is the founder of Back to Balance Acupuncture in Los Angeles. Donna, thank you for joining me today, and please introduce yourself and the company. Tell us what you guys do.
Thank you so much, Jared. My name is Donna Winges. I'm the owner of Back to Balance Acupuncture. We're in Newhall, California, which is in Santa Clarita at the northern end of LA County. Basically, we treat patients that are in pain, and whether that pain is physical, mental, the pain of not being able to conceive, we treat all of that. I treat a lot of veterans through the VA, their care in the community program, which is amazing, and we get really good results.
Great. Yeah, it's acupuncture is really interesting. I actually did it for a while when I was first
Nice.
going through my stuff. I just bought a big package basically, and I've had it other times as well. But it's yeah, it's very interesting and has a lot of benefits.
It does.
Can you share a bit about your role and how it fits into the bigger picture at Back to Balance?
So I'm the owner and operator. I'm the only acupuncturist. I have an office manager who's here part-time. And that's basically our crew. So I wear a lot of hats, and so does Lee, my office manager. I do the marketing. I do the patient care, obviously. She handles scheduling, billing, collections, and all that stuff. So
And you founded it in 2016, and you said it was when you just returned from China.
yeah, so I graduated with my acupuncture degree from a school here in the States, Southern California University of Health Sciences, in 2011. And I got a
Okay.
full ride scholarship to go and do a PhD in China, which I do not have. I went to China at 41 years old thinking that I could do this. I didn't speak Chinese, I couldn't read Chinese, and that was kind of silly for me to do it, but it was a great learning experience. So I got back in 2016, opened the practice. I rented a small room from someone. The rent was way too high for the space. Saw my first patient um, 9 years ago, 2 days ago. So that was exciting. My first paying patient. I was like, oh, yay. And then I moved quickly into the building I'm in now, and this is my third suite in this building.
Okay.
Um, so China was an amazing experience. I got to meet people. I have friends all over the world now, which is awesome. When you give me a copy of this, I'm gonna forward it to everybody.
Nice.
And then it's been such a learning experience growing a business. I was in IT before this, so I went back to school at 37.
Wow.
And it seems like a not clear transition, but it's the same skill set. It's troubleshooting and repair. It's just now my patients can talk to me a little easier
Right.
than computers did. So
That's a really big shift from IT to acupuncture.
yeah, it really is.
What what was the catalyst for that?
So I had hurt my knee, and I went to an acupuncturist at my best friend's recommendation, and she was doing the treatments, and she was amazing. And I was looking at all the charts on the walls, and I could just see the systems, and it made sense to me. And I was like, I could do this. And as a woman in IT, I hadn't progressed as much as I could have. And so it was sort of a natural shift for me to embrace being a healer. I had been a Reiki master before that, and so I did energy work, but I never embraced it as a career. And so I went back to school. I was 37, went back to school, graduated. I worked full time, went to school full time. It was crazy, but it was fun.
Wow, that's great. It's not very often people do that or have, big shifts where they totally change directions, or at least not later on.
Yeah, I look at it as a course correction. Like IT was great, and I learned a lot of skills there, but really, I believe that my purpose is to be a healer and to impact other people's lives in significant ways. And for me, IT was not the place for that.
Right.
So,
Right. No, very cool. Yeah, you have to feel purpose in what you're doing, right? Like
yeah.
that's really important. What does a typical day look like for you?
So I try to have my schedule meet the needs of my patients. And so right now I have an imposed commitment on Fridays, so I had to move my patient schedule around. Um, so we see patients Monday afternoons, Tuesday mornings, used to be closed on Wednesday, Thursday afternoons, we'd see patients on Friday mornings. Right now, I'm open on Saturday mornings to accommodate my Fridays being gone, and I do see patients on Wednesdays. So we're just trying to make things work. And that commitment is through the end of October. So we'll readjust the schedule then. So yeah, so on a day like today, sorry, I'll come in, I'll get some just other work done, whether it's notes, billing, that kind of thing. Um, Reading about marketing, doing some marketing stuff. I'm trying to get that done. And then I'll just prepare for patients. We start at 2, so
Okay. Well, it sounds like you keep pretty busy then.
yes, yes.
What from a business aspect, what major shifts are you seeing in your industry right now?
So there's a big shift for people getting out of insurance. I used to take insurance, and I finally started thinking with a business hat rather than just an acupuncturist hat. There was an insurance broker-ish kind of thing that I was in. And this was during COVID, and I realized that the first 81 patients I was seeing each month went to pay my rent and my office manager. Not a cent for me.
Wow.
Most of us don't go in this to get rich, but I need to make a living. I need to keep the doors open. And so at that point in time, we got out of that insurance, and we've slowly gotten out of every other one. The only thing I take now is the VA.
Okay.
And that's because I have a heart for veterans. We do have, from day one, I've had a veterans discount. My dad was in the Navy, and I've just always done that. But it's nice to be able to care for veterans. So that's the only insurance I take. I know a lot of practitioners that have moved to a cash model, which is a little scary in an economy like right now. So some people don't view acupuncture as a necessity. They view it as a luxury. And so sometimes people will tighten up, and that's where it's my job, other practitioners' job, to educate the public and say, no, look, it keeps you healthy. It prevents illnesses, and it's hard to prove a negative. So a lot of times people are a little scared. But we've seen when we take those steps and we do that education and we do the videos and we do the posts and we do the stuff we should be doing, we have a natural influx of people. I've taken it a step further. We've been in business for 9 years this week, and I've never done major advertising. I've done some print. I've had fits and starts with regular posting, and I've boosted a couple of posts, but I've never really done advertising. And so I'm now, I enrolled in Russell Brunson's program. I follow Alex Hormozi. These are just big marketing guys. And there are things that are translatable to healthcare. So I'm studying that, and I'm going to figure out how I can use that ethically aligned with my beliefs and what I can do for people to help share the message bigger and grow the practice at the same time, because it is a business.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we got to make a living, right? And
yeah. And like, having never known what CAC is, the cost of acquisition, or I've never thought about the lifetime value of a patient. I never thought of those. And that's where I need to put that business hat on and learn how to do that business hat so that the practice is here longer and I can treat more people for longer. So.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And Russell, he's the funnel guy, right? Is he the?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. I didn't even know that is covered under insurance, because a lot of alternative treatments aren't, right? And
so with the Affordable Care Act, there are 5 states where if you have healthcare coverage paid for by your employer, it's mandatory that they have acupuncture coverage. Now, that doesn't mean it's great coverage. Some people get 12 visits a year, which doesn't really do much. It's great for maintenance care, or one short bout of care. But most people need more care than that. And California, which is where I am, is one of those states. So.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I hope that in the future it encompasses more, right? Like more alternative modalities. But that's cool that I didn't know that about acupuncture, that was covered, or that a lot of insurance does cover that.
Well, and the VA is actually very forward thinking with that, because they cover acupuncture, they cover massage, they cover chiropractic, they'll cover naturopaths, I think. which
Wow.
is, yeah. So I love it. I think it's a great,
I didn't know that either about the
yeah.
VA.
The VA is wonderful. Like I know people have issues and sometimes there's long waits, but they really do long-term care for veterans. So,
That's really cool. Yeah, I actually have several. I have three siblings that work for the VA, so that's
oh, nice. Okay.
yeah. What so as far as that goes, and insurance and what you've noticed in the industry, how has that impacted your business or growth strategy, or has it?
So I now see probably half the patients I did when I was in insurance, but I make the same amount of money. And so I'm able to focus more on my patients. I've taken some seminars that have taught me more about business, and those were amazing. And just things I'd never considered and never thought of. So I end up having more time to think about the patient, to follow up with them later. Whereas before it felt like a mill, kind of. I was seeing a lot of patients working really long days and just feeling like it wasn't really making as much of a difference as I could.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. It's interesting how that works when I guess you focus more on quality than quantity.
Yeah. And there's some insurance plans that really control what we can do. Like we get a certain number of visits and then we have to beg for more. We have to justify what we're doing. And sometimes treating a patient, they have a lot going on. So it's like layers of an onion that you have to peel away before you can get to the core issue. And that's what makes acupuncture part of a holistic plan. You know, like, we don't just talk about acupuncture. So if I'm limited to the amount of time I can spend with people because their insurance only covers so much and they pay so little, I can't get to those layers. I can't talk about lifestyle. I can't talk about exercise, nutrition, diet, supplementation. I can't get to all of those things. All I have time for is the acupuncture. Yes, acupuncture is a brilliant thing and it works for people, but if I can be more holistic, I can get better results.
Sadly, it's not just you. It's like I've talked to even medical doctors who feel this way, right? Where they feel like I can't treat my patient how I feel like my patient should be treated, right? And because of insurance.
Right.
So yeah, that's I'm sure that's very frustrating to deal with. So this will begin as far as business goes and your business in particular, but what's working well for you right now and what's been frustrating?
So we started a membership program and that has worked really well. So I have patients that pay every month. They get discounts on products, and they get a certain number of treatments that they prepay for each month. It keeps people committed to care. When people are looking at, I really appreciated you talking about having bought that package in the beginning when you tried acupuncture. People have an idea that they come in for acupuncture and it should be one and done. Very rarely. If I'm seeing a kid, a child, yeah, we can get by with 1, 2, 3 visits and they're healed because they're young and their body helps them. As as individuals age, there's more stuff going on in the body. And so that care, the body takes the energy that we're giving it and it prioritizes where it's going to use it. So my intention might be to help your lower back. But if there's something else going on, the body will divert that to its priority. And so it may take longer. And when people are on a course of care and they've prepaid for care, they're more committed to care and they're not evaluating visit to visit. Oh, my back, yeah, it's a little better, but not really, so I'm not going to go today. People need to be committed to care and let their body heal itself. And that's really what we do. We
Right.
clear up blockages, we add energy into the body to help it heal itself. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Which which metrics are you most focused on improving in your business?
so right now we're looking to increase conversions, actually get more leads. So we're pretty good at converting them once they're in. Um, we have improved our the cost per visit. So we do track that. Lee, my office manager, tracks that. I don't look at it so much because I can be a little gamified in my stuff. So I don't want to go into a patient session thinking about that stuff. So I look at it maybe once a month. So we look at that. I really want to start looking at lifetime value because I don't know that information right now, and I really should. My cost of acquisition is really low because I don't do any advertising.
Right.
So I will track that once we start doing more paid advertising and stuff. So yeah, those are things I need to look at. I do look at, for me as the acupuncturist, I look at how many treatments it's taking to get results. Most of the time we can see significant results in between visits 7 and 8. Doesn't mean they're done, but they start to see significant improvement.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's very cool. I was wondering because I don't know, at the averages behind that. So yeah, that's very informative to know. There's, I guess, a lot that I don't know.
Well, I guess a lot of times that it depends on what they're coming in for. So low back pain, it's usually they'll see some improvement in the first few visits, but significant improvement by 7 to 8. If they're coming in for peripheral neuropathy, that's going to take longer. Certain things, the longer it's been there, the longer I need to
hmm
get them results. And so we're, again, not allowed to say we cure anything or heal anything or fix anything, but we can mitigate symptoms. We can alleviate symptoms and help the body, again, to heal itself. So
Right. And, yeah, and that is what they say, right? They say like, oh, it took you this many years to get sick, right? There's actually a formula I saw one time, kind of just on averages of
yeah,
alternative medicine of like, if it took you this many years to get sick, it's going to take you this long to heal, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, like don't expect it in one visit.
Right.
If it took you 10, 20 years to get there, you know,
Right.
it's going to take me more than a visit. It's
Right.
probably going to take a few months.
Right. Yes. And a lot of people do have unrealistic, because they want a solution now, right? They expect it to just be fixed right now.
Yeah. The biggest challenge for me right now is making the switch. When I got out of school and I opened my practice, or when I got back from China and opened my practice, all I did was acupuncture. And I didn't think of anything else. And again, acupuncture does work, but in order to get patients better faster and get them better results, supplementation is important. You have to give the body the nutrition, the building blocks that it needs to do what I'm asking it to do. And so I used to feel salesy about that. And I didn't know how to do that because I was uncomfortable. So in my interaction with a patient, it would be uncomfortable and it would feel just not nice for me. And so there's a company that I've partnered with now, Optimal Health Systems. They're out of Pima, Arizona. And what I love about them is the depth of education that they give us. It helps to increase, like I have a passion to treat my patients and I want them to get better. And now having these tools and having the education and understanding how those things work, I'm better able to make that recommendation with the authority of being the practitioner, and I know what I'm talking about, but also not in a salesy way.
Right.
I'm trying to help you get better faster, so.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I actually, this is going to sound really negative, but I hate sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate feeling like I am selling anything, right?
Right.
It's not,
Right.
because yeah, I mean, you've experienced people, especially like pressured sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like dealing with those people.
For me, that's the fastest way to get me to shut down. It's like, I will never pressure me for sales and I'm never going to buy anything from you.
Me as well. I actually told a salesman that probably about a month ago because I'm the one who inquired. And I said, you guys would get way further if you were just neutral. If you were just like, you know what? If you get it, cool. If not, like I'm just here to educate you, answer your questions. They would get more sales that way. They would, right? Like it's crazy.
Well, that was one of the biggest things I had to learn in my consults. It's like, I care if the patient comes in, but I can't care more about their health and their well-being than they do.
Right.
So it's just like, I'm going to be here either way. So if they're not ready yet, wonderful. I'll still be here and you can come back when you are.
Right.
Rather than having that desperation and being like, okay, I'm going to discount it for you. What can I do to get, no, it's just like, this is the price of the program that I'm recommending. Follow it or don't, but I'm going to be here and I'm not going to cheapen my value in what I do. So, and that took a long time. because there's a sense in acupuncture where where we have to martyr ourselves for our patients. And it's just like, I don't want to be broke. I don't need a yacht, but I need to like be able to have a living.
I
So,
I've told people that for years because I've owned several businesses. My first one I started in my early 20s, and I built that and I sold it.
mhm.
And then I did another one for about 18 years and I sold it. And I actually just sold that one New Year's Eve. We closed New Year's Eve.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I have a lot of experience in business and owning businesses. And sometimes people accuse you, or you're like, you're the man, right? Like you're the and I'm like, hey, like you don't understand, number one, how hard this is. And number two, that if you're starting a business venture, you're taking on, it's a lot of risk.
Hmm.
It is. And it's a lot of work. So you have to make it worth it.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, why not just work for somebody and not have all the stress? And you know what I mean? But people, I feel like a lot of people don't understand that haven't done it.
Yeah. I was lucky that when I got back from China, I didn't understand what it took to run a business because I'd never run one before. I was always an employee before. And if I had known what I was supposed to know as a business person, I never would have started the business. I didn't have enough capital. No way. Nowhere near. So, like, there's just a lot of debt that comes with owning the business. And I had that martyr mentality. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like, my prices were way too low. I wasn't covering my costs. I didn't even think about what are my costs. It wasn't until I took seminars and had mentorship that came to into a being and thought about it. And so, yeah, so I'm a little bit behind in catching up, but I no longer discount my value.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, that's great because there's a lot of people who don't even get to that point, right? And I don't know how some actually stay in business so long. And especially, what is it? Last I looked, it was in Forbes. It was 80% of new businesses fail their first year.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is a lot of the reason why, of like what we're talking about right now. And that is, I think, one of the biggest things is lack of capital, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
And I feel lucky and blessed that we've made it to 9 years because I've made so many bad decisions along the way, not knowing any better. But when I know better, I do better. And so now we're doing things the way we should. And it's a little bit of a trudge. But that's what business is. Like if it was easy, everybody would do it.
exactly. Well,
So
well, that's great. I mean, you made it 9 years. They say that a business isn't even considered established until year 10.
yeah. See, I'm not
So,
even there yet. I
I
got a year
mean,
to go.
you're very close. You're beyond what 20%.
Yeah.
That. Um, where do you want to be in the next 6 or 12 months?
I want to be to the point where I can qualify to go to the Hormozi's headquarters. So being in that world, they'll send out emails because they'll have these mastermind things where they'll invite businesses, and you have to fill out this form online. And until your revenue is at a certain point, they're like, "Oh, sweetie, just deal with our free content for now." So I want to be at the point where I qualify. Doesn't mean
Gotcha.
I'll go, but I want to qualify to go.
Okay, so it's geared around you have to generate a certain amount of sales.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Our revenue is good. Like we're in the six figures and that's nice. I need to bring up the bottom line more. So it's a good thing. And that's where I'm really looking forward to diving into the Russell Brunson content
Right.
so that I can get marketing and get my name out there and so that people know that I'm here and know what I can do for them. Um, and then it's a win-win. So
Right. Yes. It's definitely really important to learn and grow, right? I bought some of his stuff like years ago, some of his books. And so, yeah, I mean, he definitely knows what he's talking about, right?
yeah,
With,
yeah.
if you
He's
could,
the goat.
yeah, yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's who that was. It was this years ago. So I wasn't, if you could solve one major challenge today in your business, what would it be?
Increase my exposure so I have more new patients coming in.
Gotcha. Well, and that's your main purpose, right? So, um, would you would you say that that's an industry wide challenge, or do you think that's as far as acupuncture goes? Do you think that's a challenging part of the business?
I think so because people don't understand acupuncture. The biggest barrier is I'm afraid of needles. And so probably the worst thing for my profession is Hellraiser because that's what people think of when they think of acupuncture. So our needles are so small and people just don't understand that. So they let that fear stop them. And I think as a profession, we don't do a lot of interacting. So I don't know if other practitioners are having issues getting new patients in. I don't know. I have a friend that I was just talking with last night. She's busy, but she's taking that crappy insurance.
Right.
So it's just like, I'm not willing to work for peanuts. So I won't do that. But I think as an industry, acupuncturists have to come together and not in a monopoly kind of way, but more just raise the standards of our profession. And we are, at least in California, I am a primary healthcare provider. So I'm not a technician. It's so, and none of us are. So just raising that standard, raising our confidence and know this medicine is amazing and we can really impact people's lives and we deserve to be compensated for that. So I think that's the biggest thing our industry needs to do. And there is a subset of people that are amazing and they know their value and they know their worth and they're out there and they're commanding it. And that's great. But there's too many of us that are willing to accept peanuts from insurance companies. And, I could go off on this for a long time and I won't because we don't have that much time. But I'm not in the business of making insurance company stockholders wealthy. That's not why I do what I do.
Right.
And so I can't participate in that.
Yeah, and
That
I
game.
guess that's a sad reality of it all, right? Like I was talking to a doctor and he said that he's a medical doctor, and he was voicing some of his frustration, saying the hospital he worked for, the director of the hospital, this was just his bonus, by the way, for this particular year. It was
Really?
$16 million was the director of the hospital. That was his bonus, right? And
He's
so
not treating patients.
no, he's not. He's made the business successful, right? That's what his job is. And then the doctors over here getting paid a small fraction
Mhm.
of that, right?
Yeah. Well, that one insurance company that I referred to in the beginning, where I had to see the 81 patients just to pay part of my overhead, they have not raised the rate of reimbursement for acupuncture in over 25 years.
Wow.
So I've had to have conversations with my patients that are like, why don't you take my insurance anymore? It's like, are you making the same amount of money you were 25 years ago with no raises? No, you're not. So why are you asking me to?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So,
That means every year people are making less money because of
mhm.
inflation. Cost of living goes up, right? Like,
And in
yeah.
California, we have a higher minimum wage for healthcare workers. So what I pay my front desk staff has to be higher. So they're getting raises every year, but insurance companies want me to make the same. So you can't sustain that as a business. You just can't. Or I haven't figured out a way and I don't want to. I want to
Right.
enjoy what I do.
Well, that's crazy to think about because I was reading something yesterday and it was basically talking about the numbers surrounding like what the boomers um cost of living compared to income was compared to now.
Hmm.
And I mean it's drastic, right? It's a huge difference, and you wonder what's going to happen in the future because there's got to be either a huge correction or there's going to be a lot of problems, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how this thing is going to get resolved, but it's exactly what you're talking about of just that um the income part hasn't caught up with all the cost of living.
Yeah. It
So
just hasn't.
no, that's I didn't realize it was so big because obviously I'm not a boomer and
Me neither. Gen
and
X all the way.
yeah, so you just don't see, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, I mean, I know things were when I was a kid, things were pretty cheap.
Hmm.
And you think about, how much they are now, certain things. So obviously you see that, But then you go back to next generation and the next generation, and it just gets more and more out of proportion.
Yeah. Yeah. When I think about what my parents paid for their house,
Hmm.
it's just like, yeah, that doesn't even buy a car now.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have a friend, and he obviously lives in a very low populated area and out in the middle of nowhere, but he paid $30,000 for his house, and
Wow.
that's what I said. I was like,
Yeah.
"Geez, are there jobs there?" Because that's I've never even heard of that. It's somewhere. He's in Iowa, but
Well, I was born and raised on Long Island in New York, and my parents paid $16,000 for their house. It's
wow,
the house I was born in. My brother owns it now. It's just like you can't even buy a car for 16,000 now.
16,000.
Yeah, for a house, 4 bedrooms, two, 1.5 bath.
I thought 30 was crazy. No,
Yeah.
we're almost
Well, I
half.
was born in 70, and they bought it before I was born. I don't know exactly when.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And I live in
well,
California now. There's nothing. You can't even buy a condo here for less than 400.
I have a friend who's a real estate broker, and during COVID, he was said every day I'm showing homes to Californians because there was a lot of Californians leaving California, and a lot of them he said were buying two homes
Hmm.
because they sold their one
Two
home.
for the price of one.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Not here. There's no sales here.
No, you guys are like still very overly inflated there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Things went crazy during COVID, um, and afterwards, because everybody was at home, so they needed to change their home and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Right,
I don't have an answer for that market at all. I'll
right.
stay in my lane.
Well, I really appreciate it, Donna, and that was a great conversation, and appreciate your insight, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much more fun. I was so nervous in the
Oh,
beginning, but now I'm like, oh, this is a ball.
oh, good. I'm no, and I do appreciate it, and it's yeah, I always learn things during these conversations, so I enjoy that as well. But yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Yes, and I hope you have a great day, and it would be nice to have you on again.
I would love that. And I hope you have a wonderful day too.
Perfect. Thank you.